All right. Good afternoon. So we're gonna carry on with this. Unfortunately, my shoulder's still screwed up. So we'll take it easy. I'll type for like 20 minutes, then we'll wrap it up. Until this gets checked out, I have an MRI scheduled in the next couple of weeks. Until I figure out what the hell's going on with this, we'll take things a little bit seriously. Jesus Christ, you never get old. But yeah, you definitely have to take things a little bit more seriously when we're doing this because it actually hurts when I'm typing. Imagine that. Okay, so where was I yesterday? Human brain thrives on connection, voices, laughter, and even hearing someone else talking. This shows you that a world exists outside your own thoughts. But once we remove that proof, our mind starts to fabricate things to fill in the void. What begins excuse me. It begins subtly, but gets worse over time. For example, that shadow in the distance could be a person, or the howling wind could be voices. Situations like this start chipping away at your sanity. Was it real? Did I imagine it? Or am I slowly losing my grasp on the world? Isolation doesn't only amplify fear, it personalizes it. The longer you stay isolated, you start questioning your own memory. Objects appear differently from what you remember. Familiar spaces begin feeling alien. Your mind feels as if it's starting to conspire against you. Okay, that's fine. I don't even need to repeat myself. Y'all know the drill. Don't drink unless you're my age. Oh, my flask is actually busted. No, it's not. All right, I'll deal with that later. Guess I'm not gonna be drinking. All right. Hmm. It reshapes. No. Your mind. Your mind. 1.5 million goes so hard. Mind and perception. You know, that's gonna bother me that that's not opening up right now. That is actually gonna bother me. Oh, there we go. Interesting. I'm not an alcoholic. Your memory and perception begin to fracture. Your brain starts to fill in. We don't even need to say that. I think I repeated that. This isn't just like limited just to perception. No, it's not. Like, how can I word this? I'm trying not to get myself stuck in a weird rabbit hole, which is probably gonna happen. I just gotta be very like specific in what I write. Hmm. But let's take this out. Wait, no, we can keep that there. So your memory and perception begin to fracture. But this isn't the only threat. But this isn't the only threat. It's mostly because since your mind is kind of like cooked, time can feel like it's moving differently from what it actually is. Like 5 minutes may seem like an hour, or 1 hour may just be like 2 minutes. So it starts affecting your it starts affecting your time. So time and sequence of events blur. Time and sequence of events blur. And I think I mentioned this before. Look at RE1 remake. Well, RE1 in general, the Spencer Mansion. We can say, for argument's sake, they got there probably around like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, but they left there at dawn when the mansion exploded at dawn. Given the circumstances of that event, sure, like from 7 to like, we'll just say 7 p.m. to like 5:30, no, 6 o'clock in the morning, because it's mountain time. I'm assuming is it. We'll assume it is in a midwestern town in America, so we're going with mountain time. So usually around the mountain areas, the sunrise is like around like 6 to 6:30, depending on where you're at, of course. But so we'll say they were like in the mansion for like 12 hours, not excluding Rebecca, because Rebecca was like going ham for like 48 hours. But yeah, those 12 hours could have been like forever, given how the circumstances were. So your perception on time, depending on how stressed your mind is, will vary from person to person. Okay. Time and sequence of events blur. Let's actually swap it up. I feel like chilling tonight. So minutes feel like hours. Minutes feel like hours. Minutes feel like hours, and I'm gonna be a little bit cheeky here. Minutes feel like hours, and the lines of what actually occurred. Minutes feel like hours, and the lines of what actually occurred. And I hate using and twice in a sentence. Minutes feel like hours. Hold on. Actually, we can just do this. What is imagine begin to what is imagine begin to dissolve? Well, at least now I know why I've been having this chronic shoulder pain for the past couple of months. I'm like, oh, hey, you have arthritis in your neck. I'm like, I what? Oh, okay, all right, hooray, VA benefits. But still, that sucks. So that means I have to do therapy for the next couple of months and limit like these typing streams so I don't like screw this up. Sprite animation stream should be fine because I don't really need both arms. I'm just moving things from my mouse around, so it's not that bad. But still, gotta be a little bit careful until we actually see what the hell's going on. Minutes feel like hours. The lines of what actually occurred and what is imagined begin to dissolve. Hmm. Minutes feel like hours. The lines of what actually occurred and what is imagined begin to dissolve. Your own senses. Your own senses. Your own senses turn into. Your own senses turn into sources of doubt. No, turns into sources of doubt. That's what am I doing? It turns into sources of doubt. Hmm. Human brain thrives on connection, voices, laughter, and even hearing someone else talking. This shows you that a world exists outside your own thoughts, but once we remove that proof, our mind starts to fabricate things to fill in the void. It begins subtly, but gets worse over time. For example, that shadow in the distance could be a person, or the howling wind could be voices. Situations like this start chipping away at your serenity. Was it real? Did I imagine it? Or am I slowly losing my grasp on the world? Isolation doesn't only amplify fear, it personalizes it. The longer you stay isolated, you start questioning your own memory. Objects appear differently from what you remember. Familiar spaces begin feeling alien. Your mind feels as if it's starting to conspire against you. Your memory, your memory and perception begin to fracture. But this isn't the only threat. Time and sequence of events blur. Minutes feel like hours. The lines of what actually occurred and what is imagined begin to dissolve. Your own senses turn into sources of doubt. Now let's talk about how that's used in horror games. So, horror, yeah, Halloween's over. Yes, it is. It's now November. Horror exploits this, usually with environmental cues. Environmental cues. Let me give an example of that. Usually, usually, events that contradict memory. Usually events that contradict memory. And again, like I mentioned earlier, like the events of the mansion, ironically enough, we're listening to the save theme in Resident Evil 1, arguably 12 hours from like nighttime till sunrise. But given the circumstances of the event, oh my god, given the circumstances of the event, it could feel way longer than it actually is. 12 hours is still a very long time, of course, but I'm just assuming it was 12 hours. But they definitely got there at night and left there in the morning. And besides Rebecca, who's pretty much out for like 48 hours, Chris, Jill, Barry, and the rest of the Stars team got there at night and left there in the morning. And everything, I could probably say once they got into the lab, it was close to like at least 4 to 5 a.m. Because when they were heading into the residence, it was still night. Yeah, when they were heading into the residence, it was still night. When they were going into the underground, it was still night. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. I'm putting two and two together. We know when time actually shifts in that game, but yes, during time the tyrant fight, the sun was coming up. So yeah, perfect. We'll just go. See, this is what I mean. Putting myself in a big ass rabbit hole. All right, so these are the events that contradict memory. Hmm. Player, player, player starts to question everything around them. 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 What can I do here? Oh, I think I have an analogy here. So, since we're questioning everything around us, right? The environment itself becomes unreliable, just like our mind is at this point. Yeah. So, let's be cheeky. Okay, the environment becomes a reflection of the mind itself under the stress. The environment becomes an extension, no, a reflection. Becomes a reflection of the mind under duress. Jesus Christ. Under duress. Because obviously it's becoming unreliable. It's kind of unsettling that she losing control on the situation. And unstable. There we go. The three U's. Yeah. Unstable. Unreliable, definitely being the big one. Unreliable and unsettling is good. Unsettling. Ultimately, oh my god. All right, we're just gonna ignore that because I'm whiffing my spelling tonight as usual. Ultimately, the fear. Ultimately, the fear from this distortion. Distortion is a fun word. This distortion. Ultimately, the fear from this distortion becomes personal. Becomes personal. Because this isn't just about. This isn't. This. This isn't just about it. An external threat. This isn't just about external threat. Because it's becoming inside now. External threat. It's about. I believe tomorrow's gonna be about helplessness. Again, shit happens. I shouldn't be doing these relatively long streams because so I don't put like stress on this until until we actually get this MRI done. All I know is we did a CT scan. Oh yeah, you got arthritis in your neck. Oh fuck, that's probably why you're having chronic pain in your shoulder because the nerves are getting like pinched. I'm like, oh fuck. So I got an MRI in like literally 2 weeks. So let's not fuck around and find out. It may not look like it. I'm still relatively young, even though I'm like going heading towards my 40s now. But let's not fuck around and find out. So we'll do like another. Let's finish this section up, then we'll be good to go for tonight. And tomorrow we'll start the next section. Again, this video is not gonna be out anytime soon. It's about doubting your own mind. Yeah, doubting your own mind. Doubting your own mind. So in isolation, we can't deviate because again, this is just about the isolation. So in isolation, your brain in isolation, your brain can become a maze of uncertainty. But yeah, can become a maze of uncertainty. Maze of uncertainty. Where remembering every detail can become a trap. Yes. Where remembered detail can become a trap. And every perception can be false. Okay, so I think that's good. Okay. I might add more into that later, but let's just see what we got. And like I said, tomorrow we'll start helplessness. Again, I do apologize for these relatively short streams, but let's not fuck around and find out until I get this checked out. The human brain thrives on connection, voices, laughter, and even hearing someone else talking. This shows you that a world exists outside your own thoughts. But once we remove that proof, our mind starts to fabricate things to fill in the void. It begins subtly, but gets worse over time. For example, that shadow in the distance could be a person, or the howling wind could be voices. Situations like this start chipping away at your certainty. Was it real? Did I imagine it? Or am I slowly losing my grasp from the world? Isolation doesn't only amplify fear, it personalizes it. The longer you stay isolated, you start questioning your own memory. Objects appear differently from what you remember. Familiar spaces begin feeling alien. Your mind feels as if it's starting to compromise against you. Your memory and perception begin to fracture. But this isn't the only threat. Time and sequence of events blur. Minutes feel like hours. The lines of what actually occurred and what is imagined begin to dissolve. Your own senses turn into sources of doubt. Organs exploit this. I thought I wrote this earlier, but I guess not. With environmental cues, usually events that contradict memory, the player starts questioning everything around them. Oh my god, I'm just terrible when it comes to this at times. The environment becomes a reflection of the mind under duress, unstable, unreliable, and unsettling. Ultimately, the fear from this distortion becomes personal. This isn't just about an external threat. Tongue twister. This isn't just about an external threat. It's about doubting your own mind. In isolation, your brain can become a maze of uncertainty, where remembered detail can become a trap, and every perception can be false. I like it. Besides me whiffing talking for some weird reason, I like it for the most part. I can probably add a little bit more, but I think we got a good baseline. So again, things that I write, it is not 100% certain that it'll actually make it into the final product, but it's good being over-prepared than not being prepared at all. So that's why I write a lot. So tomorrow, I believe it's helplessness, and we'll carry on from there. We just got started with this. Again, this is probably not going to be out anytime soon. Give myself at least like a three-week window to finish this up, because again, I can't really type that much until I get this checked out. But anyways, besides that, have a good one. And I'll see people tomorrow with this. Take care. Good night.